Merchant Factor Stevens knew this was not the normal way for a mech to be produced. In order to ensure the Thresher Mk II, or Thresher II, the clan had yet to decide on an official moniker, was ready as soon as possible, the scientist caste had been largely bypassed and only the technician caste was involved in modifying existing Thresher chassis. While this hastened development, it also caused a number of unforeseen issues to arise. That number, according to Chief Technician Whalen, totaled 117. The PPC in the left arm is far heavier than the original pulse laser, and because the gyro had not been reprogrammed with the new center of mass, the mech pulls to the left, Whalen explained. And last of the major issues, the new Case 2 ammo bins aren't quite large enough for the added missile capacity, so the LRM launcher jams at a rate of 12%.
That does not sound so bad, Stevens said, hoping to find some silver lining in what was increasingly looking like a technological boondoggle.
Whalen shook his head. The launcher loads 15 missiles at a time, so that is slightly more than 1 jam per reload.
Stevens sighed. Ugh. He had been given command of the Thresher refit project after Clan Seafox had failed to find buyers for the venerable Garrison mech. But at least the 3 centuries-old design worked. Politicians always felt like starting with a proven design was the fastest way to get to another, equally effective weapons platform. But Stevens knew that wasn't always the case. In fact, sometimes it was the complete opposite.
Oh, I'd also forgotten to mention the problem with the engine's supercharger.
At this, Stevens simply threw up his hands in frustration. Let me guess. The engine tolerances were insufficient, so the engine overheats and risks shutdown mere moments after activation.
Whalen checked his noteputer, then nodded mutely. As chief technician at Thresher Heavy Industries, he had long since learned when not to speak during a tense meeting with the boss.
There cannot be any delays. Such was the command of the Con Hawker himself.
Merchant Factor Stevens muttered, mostly to himself, but loud enough to forestall any requests for a delay from Technician Whalen.
We do as we must. Organize this list based on time estimates for rectification. Easy fixes first, hard fixes last. We will produce the most complete battle mech we can. Midway through Whalen's second nod, a warrior still clad in her neural helmet and jumpsuit burst through the door.
What Surat designed this accursed machine? My targeting system shut down during a live fire test.
Stevens blinked, and then turned to Whalen. Is that on the list?
Neg, Merchant Factor.
Thank you, warrior.
Stevens quickly scanned the warrior's name tag as he rose from his seat to address her with all the respect due to the warrior caste.
Fez. This will be noted for future revision.
The warrior's demeanor softened, but only slightly.
See that it is done. I cannot imagine the wolves will be repeat customers if we sell them faulty Thresher refits.
Fez stormed off, leaving Stevens and Whalen to consider their words. Then, Merchant Factor Stevens turned to Whalen and said,
I thought these refits were for our own Toman.
Neg, Merchant Factor, these are for Clan Wolf.
Stevens sighed again. But this time in relief. There is no way that Clan Seafox would have taken on such an order without acquiring payment up front.
Well, then I'm sure the wolves will understand if the Thresher Mk II has some teething issues, given the short delivery timeline.
And the targeting systems.
Stevens thought for a moment and smiled.
Tell them that it will be fixed in a future software update.
The business acumen of the most mercantile clan to ever enter the Inner Sphere is usually beyond reproach, except in a few notable exceptions. Alongside the Dasher II, the Thresher Mk II is one of those exceptions. Following the blackout, Clan Seafox rightly sensed a remilitarization of the Inner Sphere was soon to follow, and that customers would be demanding both high-tech cutting-edge machinery and dependable low-cost battle mechs to garrison their holdings. The Thresher, a nearly 300-year-old design, seemed like the ideal battle mech to resurrect for Inner Sphere customers. To be fair to Clan Seafox, merchants had seen plenty of success selling older Clan Omni-Mechs to Inner Sphere customers, the Coyote being perhaps the best example. So one could forgive Clan leadership for assuming that the Thresher would be equally as successful. Instead, Clan Seafox was dismayed to see its entire first production run of the venerable Clan Battle Mech sit unsold. But where the Seafox's business acumen fails, the clan's blind luck succeeds. Desperate for as much material as possible, Khan Alaric Ward of Clan Wolf agreed to purchase every Thresher the Seafoxes had thus far produced, but only on the condition that they'd be refitted into the ideal weapon to face the Republic's combined arms regiments. Among the Khan's demands were reflective armor, additional speed, and arm actuators to improve the Thresher's capacity for physical combat. He also demanded that the mechs be combat-ready within the year. Seafox technicians at Trellshire Heavy Industries made a heroic effort to meet Ward's demands with orders starting fulfillment in 3149. Initial combat reports against Republic forces on Churton and Pollux were positive, but mech warriors reported the Thresher Mk II suffered from dozens of technical glitches, ranging from sticky actuators to miscalibrated gyros. The worst issue centered on the Thresher Mk II's D-Track Suite 1 targeting system, which would sometimes shut down completely for no apparent reason. Most of these failures happened during routine patrols and training, but at least one instance occurred to an unfortunate Clan Wolf mech warrior during the battle for Terra, forcing him to resort to physical combat. The Seafoxes explained to angry Wolf pilots that the Thresher Mk II's rushed development meant that certain technical faults evaded the clan's rigorous testing, and that all could be resolved through software updates. However, the damage to the mech's reputation, within Clan Wolf at least, was already done. Unpopular in the Wolf Toman, the Thresher Mk II is expected to be phased out in favor of the Dominator, which has the benefit of being domestically produced as well as sharing similar capabilities. To keep costs down, the Thresher Mk II retains the same chassis, engine, heat sinks, and jump jets as the original Thresher. The only changes are to weapons, armor, and the addition of both arm actuators and an engine supercharger. The Thresher Mk II completely removes the original's weapons in favor of a Type 22 ERPPC, a Type XV crossbow 15-tube long-range missile launcher with 2 tons of ammo, a Series 44th large pulse laser, a Mark 22 Type 2 4-tube short-range missile launcher with a single ton of ammo, and a DuPont Ultra PM flamer for anti-infantry defense, allowing it to engage foes at any range. Only 13 double heat sinks are insufficient for the now largely energy-based payload. Case 2 protects all ammo bins, and the Thresher's 9.5 tons of armor plate has been replaced with the same amount of Gamma Special reflective armor, providing additional defense against energy-based weapons. The engine supercharger, when combined with the existing mask system, allows the Thresher Mk II to achieve an impressive top speed of 140 km per hour. This allows the Thresher Mk II to excel as a cavalry unit, and even serve in scout stars as heavy fire support. However, the twin speed boosting systems double the potential for catastrophic failure when used simultaneously. On paper, at least, the Thresher Mk II is a capable machine, but its rushed development made it arrive as an unreliable one. With lives at stake, soldiers require the reliability of their weapons more than anything else. Its reputation is likely forever tarnished among the wolves, but the Thresher Mk II could still see success on the open market, or within Seafox's own Toman, once its many issues are corrected.